made these up. So Kelly's first and second laws of global sourcing. Does anybody here remember, did they have Murphy's Laws calendars and Murphy's Law in South Africa? Does anyone know what that is? Anybody? Okay. For those of you that don't, Murphy's Law is if it can go wrong, it will. Okay? It's a pretty good rule to live your life by. I kind of jokingly made up Kelly's first and second laws of China sourcing because years ago my father had Kelly's first and second laws of aerial navigation. He was a pilot. And just for giggles, Kelly's first law of aerial navigation is your destination will always be on the other side of the map, and it will always, the second law is it will be always in a crease which is torn. So this is in the days before GPS. So after years of dealing with my own projects and with clients' projects, I came up with the Kelly's first and second laws of China sourcing. And you could call this Kelly's first and second laws of project development, new business formation, you name it. But the first is that we will always suffer delays. As I've said, anything you think is going to, anything in life is always going to take at least twice as long as you think it's going to, and that really applies to China. And so assume that it's not going to be on time. If you need it in 90 days, figure it'll be late and be pleasantly surprised if it's not, okay? But law number two, and there are a lot of people who debate this with me, but I firmly believe it's true. Law number two is that you're often the source of the delay. I've had a lot of cases where we've had a really, really tight deadline and things are critical and we can't get an answer from the client for 2 solid weeks. And we don't know what happened. We don't know why they stopped talking to us. Well, they're out of town. They went on vacation, they stopped answering the email, whatever the case may be. But in many cases, the delays in a project, yes, Chinese suppliers are not perfect. No supplier is. But it is the case in most of my experience that the reason why the project doesn't come in on time is because the customer is not really ready to get things rolling. They don't have their design database complete. They don't know what color they want it to be. They don't know what flat lock stitching is. So when you ask them that question, they have to go find out from someone. Okay? Then you can say, well, the supplier should know that. Well, maybe they should, but they also can't read your mind. And so when they come back with a question, if you can't answer it immediately, if you don't know the answer, or if you're unavailable to ask the question, who's causing the delay? We'll get more into this later on, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing is that when you're buying from China, you need to know what it is that you want to buy. You can't rely on them to read your mind or sort of by osmosis figure out what you want. And so understand that these two laws really do happen in the real world and do what you can to avoid it.